Hello and welcome to the Random Wrestling Review. It is our local to global series once again, and we have just come out of an extraordinarily busy period. And I say that because look at what we've just done. We did a big night out, then we did the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza, then we did RWR 100, our 100th show, then we did the 6th anniversary show. So it has been pretty massive, pretty full on for a while. And during that period, we've had a new Northwest champion, obviously CM Punk winning that title. We've had Mark Henry and Sean Stasiak win the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza. We've had Ace Steel and Chemo both turn babyface. We've had CM Punk have to defend the title the same night as winning the title. We have had all kinds of stuff basically going on through that period, and we've come out the other side now to our free show, our annual free show, Open Doors 2001, in 13 days time. Before we get there, we are going to make a signing. Now this signing, of course, is in effectively to bring somebody in the place of Brock Lesnar, and Darren Drozdov is who I've decided to go with. I just feel like the look that he's got is kind of what I'm looking for. Now, obviously, I'm aware of Darren Drozdov and what happened to him, and saw him wrestle a couple of times back in the day in WWE. But ultimately, in this reality, in this universe, Drozdov never debuted for WWE, and I don't think he's ever been signed by anyone in 4 years. So I don't know whether that's a reflection of what people believe to be his skill set, whether he's not very good or not on the game, or what. But we're about to find out. He has had a number of matches over the years in independent shows, and some of them have been all right. So look, we're bringing him in because I like the look, and it was the right kind of look for what I was looking for at this precise moment. I already have some ideas for what we can do with Drozdov. He's cheap as well, which obviously is a massive benefit to us. Not that we're struggling financially. If you look at us where we are now, I calculated the other day, we made something like $24,000 over the last 6 months or so, and with the wrestling industry rising in popularity and in size, that should continue for the foreseeable future. So we push on towards Open Doors and start, as always, after the anniversary show and after the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza, of a slightly new period in our company. The stories tend to refresh a little bit at this point because most of the stories from before the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza have kind of come to an end by this period. And we've got Open Doors, which also doesn't necessarily have any huge kind of matches on it because it's a free show. So Drozdov is in, so that's all sorted. And yeah, let's just keep going to our next player-controlled show. Yeah, and because of that, so there's not going to be major matches on the Open Doors event. And then after that, we've got Luck of the Draw, which also kind of throws up things that perhaps we're not expecting, or takes us in slightly strange directions that are not kind of that take everybody off into a little bit of a different direction that you wouldn't necessarily imagine was going to happen. So yeah, we've got Open Doors, then we've got Luck of the Draw. There's every chance that we book both these shows today. I don't know. It will depend if there's any news, if there's anything in our business that's changed, that's significant, how quickly we get through Open Doors as well. But there's a chance. There is a small chance. Now, whilst we're waiting for the game to catch up with where we want to go, this is the current ranking system. After all of the messiness as of late, we're back to a kind of stable table again. CM Punk is top of the table, of course, as champion, and Buddy Wayne is currently the number one contender, though he won't be getting his title shot at either Open Doors or Luck of the Draw, unless, of course, at Luck of the Draw, he gets pulled out of a hat. Who knows? But it's CM Punk on 11, Buddy Wayne on 10, then Mark Henry, Sean Stasiak, Billy Kidman, and C.W. Anderson all currently on 7. Brock Lesnar and Dave Bautista on 5, though Brock Lesnar, of course, injured and set to be out for roughly 6 months, which is a real shame, a real pity for us because we did have some plans for him. TJ Wilson and Charlie Haas on 4, Chaz Warrington and Chemo on 3, Glenn Ruth, Phantasma, One Man Gang, and Teddy Hart on 2, Rex King and Barry Buchanan on 1, and Chris Harris and Ace Steel currently on 0. Those two. Chris Harris obviously was the one who lost the belt to Punk, and Ace Steel was defeated in his title attempt at the 6th anniversary show. Incidentally, that was the 4th title shot that Ace Steel has ever had, obviously including his one where he did win the belt for an hour. You might also be interested to know that Chemo is the person with the record amount of attempts at the title in company history, with 8. He's never won the title, but he's had 8 chances to win it. For kind of context, Buddy Wayne, who was our original wrestler, the person who's been here longest and has had 85 matches, has actually only had 5 title shots. Now, that did include the fact that he was the first champion, of course. But, yeah, over that 6 years, he's had 5 attempts at the belt. So, we are ready to go once again. We've got a little bit of news here. Whoa, loads of news. Some of this surely is old news. Actually, some of this is news that I had after our last show. So, let's start. Where do we start? Let's start with Chemo being injured. This doesn't look good. Some kind of disc herniation does not look good. Let's go to our medical. And no, he's going to work through it for 37 days. Not ideal, but that is good that he's not completely out. So we can not worry about that one. Fine. Terry Taylor steps down as ECWA Booker. So presumably... And Jacques Rougeau steps down as BCW Booker. So both of these things are happening right now. Also, OVW, who you will remember... have been taken over by Linda McMahon. That was from the last episode. They are hiring some of our guys. Ace Steel, Mark Henry, Dave Batista, and Buddy Wayne, all hired by OVW. Very happy to see Buddy Wayne getting a job elsewhere. I think that's all the news that matters actually to us. But that's quite significant. I said we need to keep an eye on OVW. Suddenly they've come out of the wilderness and they've got a whole bunch of wrestlers in their roster, including Stephanie. Stephanie has gone to OVW. I don't imagine that her father's too happy about that, given everything that's going on between WWE and OVW, although why there's any rivalry here other than the fact that Linda and Vince own those companies, given they've got no size at all. But they've got a really rather large roster here. Stephanie McMahon, K-Crush, Colt Cabana, Chris Cruz, Christopher Love, Duke Drosy, Just Incredible, Ian Rotten, James Storm, Disco Machine, Paparazzi, Mark Henry, Texas Handman Killer, Bad Crew 2, not Bad Crew 1 though, just Bad Crew 2, that's fascinating. Charlie Norris, Buddy Wayne, Ace Steel, Dave Batista, Lash LaRue, Shane McMahon, Hardcore Kid, Bart Sawyer, Spanky, Jimmy Yang, Bobby Walker, Roderick Strong. This is a huge roster. Apologies. This is a huge roster for what is, in actual fact, a very small company at this point. So Linda McMahon has obviously got serious plans here. She's there's a whole bunch of events that they're ready to do. When's their next one due to be? Interestingly, this one's running on Monday week 4, which is a concern actually. We'll have to be careful when we get to January. But where are we? We are in September. Their next event is supposed to be Hands of Death. Monday week 2 October. We have got a problem with OVW. Although actually, I say that, we're a bigger company. So we should be able to ensure that the wrestlers prioritize our events rather than theirs. So that's good news. So we go to Open Doors, which is what we were supposed to get to. Actually, there was something I noticed in the world. New champion in ECW. Anarchy Rules took place. And Shane Douglas defeated the Sandman for the ECW title in an 86 rated match. Very, very good indeed. But the show rating's only 71, and I'm not clear on what this is. It must be because the angles need to be better. Because New Jack beat Balls Mahoney in a 75 rated match, and Taz defeated Tex Slazenger in a 79 rated match. That's 3 matches well over that 71, and yet they only got a 71. So I feel like, as I say, their product must rely on their angles to be better, because it's bringing the shows down by the looks of things to me. Sorry, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat this morning, so apologies. There might be a few interruptions in that respect. Anyway, let's go to our event, shall we? We've got Ann Absent Worker, of course, Brock Lesnar. We knew about that already. So let's start to book this thing, and we're going to begin with Bruce Hart. Now, I guess Bruce Hart's position at the moment is a little bit up for question, because so the main thing Bruce Hart was doing, of course, between 2000 and 2001 was trying to get rid of James Storm, which he eventually did in February through the whole kind of shenanigans with Chris Harris. He's since then been at the centre of the deal, the agreement, I should say. It's not the deal. The official terminology is the agreement between he and Ace Steel, From his perspective, to try and protect Chris Harris as champion, to keep him in that position as champion. But Chris Harris has, of course, now lost that title. CM Punk is a champion. And on our last show, you will remember that Chris Harris and Dave Bautista went into a wild brawl with one another after Chris Harris issued an open challenge, and it was Batista who took him up on it. So Bruce Hart here is going to come out, announces that Batista has been suspended for 1 month. This is basically Bruce Hart blaming Batista for the chaos at the last for the chaos. I'm just going to put it for the chaos that took place at the last event. So basically, this is Bruce Hart shifting the blame from being equal between Chris Harris and Dave Bautista for all the chaos that ensued, and putting it squarely at the feet of Dave Bautista. This is very much a case of Bruce Hart still favouring Chris Harris as his kind of chosen champion. So because of that incident, Bruce Hart is suspending Dave Bautista. Actually, will make him... Oh, that's not right. Dave Bautista overness, but we'll make him off screen. He's not appearing at this show. Then we're going to have Chris Harris in singles competition in the opener against Buddy Wayne. This is a pretty big match for a free show, in fairness. And you'll look at the match history, never faced each other in a singles encounter before. So this is a pretty big match. I'm going to make it a storytelling match, and the victor is going to be Chris Harris when he gets a tainted win. And I'm, still cognizant of the messages we were getting last time around Buddy Wayne's stamina and whether or not he'd be able to go for a decent length match. This, though, suggests that he can still do that. So even though that was storytelling, which might have helped him out a little bit, that's hopeful, I guess. Tag team action up next is Billy Kidman and Barry Buchanan, who I think this is their second tag team match in recent weeks, actually. I will just check that. What was on the last... Have we got show history here? No, let's just book this segment for a minute and we'll come back to it. So on the 6th anniversary show, yes, they beat the Headbangers. So they're up against the Calgary Connection in this one. And they're going to get another win. So they're in a really good place at the moment. We'll have Billy Kidman pin TJ Wilson. And getting the pinfall victory. 12 minutes, I think, would be good here. And then after the match, we're going to have, if we can do it, yes, we're going to have Ace Steel and Chemo come out to fight with the pair. So it's basically tag war between these two duos now. The former parts of the Rebellion all pretty much fighting one another. So we've got Chemo and Ace Steel come out after match, and a brawl ensues. All ensues. Cannot type today between them and Kidman and Buchanan. Yes, just about fits in. We'll make that 4 minutes. Doesn't have to be a long one. We'll get the referees and the officials and some other wrestlers to come out and stop them from fighting one another. I want to look at the storylines at this point because there are a few things. So first of all, this is finished. CM Punk versus the Rebellion is ended. We're going to add Ace Steel to this one. Mark Henry and Sean Stasiak continue their kind of their story for the time being, though I don't know how much longer that's going to last. And this is Chris Harris versus Dave Bautista, effectively. So there's nothing else at the moment. Those are the three storylines that we have that are key to this company at the moment. We then have the debut of Darren Drozdov, and actually before I go any further, we will have a look at this because he's not going to be a fun babyface, he's going to be a heel. We are making Darren Drozdov a heel. And what can he not play? Comedy, Swagger, Legitimate, or Weasley Underdog. He can play... I think it's going to have to be realistic, this one. And he's going to play... I don't know what the right... Basically, I want him to be disrespectful. I want him to be generally disrespectful and kind of contemptuous of the company, the people in it, the fans, the rankings, just the general infrastructure, the general, I don't know, like the what's the word I'm looking for? I cannot think of it right now. The institution of the Random Wrestling Review, but I don't know what to call that. Uh, so I might just say disrespectful heel. So this is his character coming into the company, and that will be his gimmick. He's going to be a heel. We needed a heel. We're really low on heels, especially after Chemo and A Still turned in the last show. And it will be Darren Drozdov versus Chaz Warrington. So Darren Drozdov's first match in the company. Make it not particularly long. We don't know how good Drozdov's going to be, which is really important to say. And we'll have him win by a pinfall finish, I think. Yeah. So Darren Drozdov versus Chaz Warrington is in. Then after this, we're going to have One Man Gang versus Chaz Warrington's teammate Glenn Ruth. So One Man Gang. Of course, Glenn Ruth carrying that injury. I think we'll make this short then, 6 minutes. We may need to make it a little bit longer later on if we find we haven't got enough length on the show. But One Man Gang is going to win this one. It's going to be a decisive pinfall victory for One Man Gang. Nothing spectacular, just trying to get him a victory because he's not had many since coming into the company, in fairness. And our main event is going to be a 3-on-3 contest. We're going to have all of our champions, so CM Punk, Charlie Haas and C.W. Anderson, teaming together against Mark Henry, Sean Stasiak and Rex King. This is the 6-man tag main event. 15 minutes we'll do this one. The victor, though, is going to be a heel, and I think we'll make it Mark Henry. And he's going to pin C.W. Anderson. Because I think that just makes sense, really. Just have a look at the booking analysis. So that's only because of Glenn Ruth's injury, and we're not going to be penalised. So that is open doors. We'll go through this event now. I suppose there's nothing else for us to do. Could be a record attendance here, so let's have a look and see what happens. 300 people in the Marshall Centre, which I think is a sellout. I think that is an absolute sellout of the Marshall Centre. I don't think there's any scope for any more people to get in, so that is a big moment for this company, a sellout crowd. I mean, it's a sellout in the sense that it's full, but obviously no one bought any tickets, so that's not really a sellout. But there we go. And we start with Bruce Hart coming out with Chris Harris and saying that he has reviewed the situation that took place at the last show, the 6th anniversary show, where Dave Bautista and Chris Harris got into a big confrontation and chaos ensued. He said that the Random Wrestling Review have had to do some, I've had to settle some issues with some fans who got hurt during the melee. He also had to settle some grievances put forth by some of the officials of the company who also got hurt during the melee, and he lays the blame, squarely on Dave Bautista for what happened. And he says that Bautista has therefore been suspended for 1 month and will not be wrestling either here tonight or at the Luck of the Draw. He's counted out of any chance of getting a title shot at the Luck of the Draw. So segment rating here of 40 as Bruce Hart continues his kind of heelish favoritism towards Chris Harris, who obviously helped him get out of the issue with James Storm the previous year. Then we have Chris Harris versus Buddy Wayne in a very good match, a 49 rated contest this one. And Harris wins by using a foreign object of 12.43 and getting the pin. Harris here a 47, not quite as good as some of his performance as of late, but still quite high. And Buddy Wayne a 41. Hopefully that puts to bed any concerns about Buddy Wayne, but we'll see how that progresses. And of course he's now working for OVW as well, which could either be a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not sure. Let's hope it's a good thing. Then tag team action as Billy Kidman and Barry Buchanan defeat the Calgary Connection in 11:41 when Kidman pins TJ Wilson with a shooting star press. This is a good match, 47 rated with some good performances. Teddy Hart 46, Kidman a 44, Barry Buchanan a 43, TJ Wilson only a 30, but that's not bad either. And Kidman and Buchanan get the victory in this one. the rebellion, the two of the rebellion members get a victory here, but the other two rebellion members come out to attack them. Immediately after the match, Chemo and Ace Steel, Barry Buchanan and Billy Kidman get into a big old brawl. The former members of the rebellion all fighting amongst one another as the dividing line between this group has definitely now been drawn. Then we get Darren Drozdov's debut and only an in-ring performance of 14. A really concerning start for Drozdov here. Segment rating of 28. Drozdov wins in 8:29 by pinfall. This is about the worst match we've seen in some time, and certainly Drozdov's performance is amongst the worst we've seen in a fair few years, I'd say. But anyway, Drozdov gets the win. This is his first match working for an actual company, so hopefully that can increase pretty quickly. Chaz Warrington wasn't bad, and Darren Drozdov's gimmick has started really well, got an initial rating of great, so there's hope anyway as we move on with him. Then we have One Man Gang overcome Glenn Ruth. Glenn Ruth's injury took a toll on this one, but this is a good performance from One Man Gang, a 38, segment rating of 38, and Glenn Ruth did a 31. But a regulation victory really for One Man Gang when he gets the victory in 5:52 by pinfall after a 747 splash. And then we get to our main event, a 52 rated contest. I expect nothing less from Punk anymore. He did a 52 individual in-ring performance. Charlie Haas a 47, Stasiak a 46, C.W. Anderson a 43, Rex King a 40, Mark Henry a 38. Interesting to see that Mark Henry seems to have kind of leveled out at 38. He doesn't seem to be able to go above that in terms of his in-ring performance. But overall, this was a good six-man tag match to end the show, won by the heels when Mark Henry pins C.W. Anderson with a big splash. And that free show is going to grow us, certainly. An overall rating of 48, a very good main event, a good match between Chris Harris and Buddy Wayne, the first ever meeting between the two. Some concerns about Drozdov's first appearance, but I expect that rating to go up quickly after this point. We're going to make a speech. Again, CM Punk is going to be complimented because he's just so good. He's just so good. I'm going to compliment also, I think, Chaz Warrington, because he was probably at his best today, actually, that we've seen him. And he did quite well with it. And I think we'll also give Glenn Ruth a compliment. No, I'm going to point him out as a good example for working through that injury. So I've complimented both the headbangers there, and they were pretty good in that show. So I want to just see if that's improved our size. Yes, we're up to 27 now. So this is starting to really grow. 27 rating. If you look at our progress of popularity, it's gone up nearly 9. In fact, it's gone up 9 since this time last year. So that's how quickly we're growing now. We might have a chance. We might have a shot of winning Most Improved Company of the Year again, like we did last year. But we'll wait until the awards before we count our chickens on that one. But yeah, another bit of growth for us. And in terms of the top 100, so that event won't be very high at all, I would imagine. 10th best show of all time, though, still, so not bad. In terms of 100 or top 100 matches, that six-man tag match that headlined was the 15th best match in company history. But in terms of attendances, it is a new record for the Random Wrestling Revue. The first sellout of the Marshall Center for us. Again, I say sellout as if people bought tickets for it. They didn't. But still, that's a really good attendance for us. And to get that many people in is really cool. I like that a lot. So I think the best thing for us to do, we've got luck of the draw in 13 days. There's nothing in the news, is there, that I think we need to pay attention to? No. So let's go to the end of the current month, look at our financial situation, see where we are, because this is quite critical now to our future plans, because I am very enthusiastic about getting on TV, getting ourselves out into areas of regions of the world that we aren't currently exposed to. And I've looked at the broadcasting, and we obviously do need to improve our production values to a certain level, and that costs quite a lot of money, especially on a rolling basis after that point. But we're in a position where if we do it, we would start to grow, and we can get on networks outside of our home region, which would be really, really valuable to us in terms of growing us and getting more sponsorship, especially at a time when the wrestling industry is actually starting to pick up. having been in the absolute doldrums about 2-3 months ago. So I feel like the iron is hot and it's time to strike, and I don't know how many more cliches I can string together in one moment. So let's have a look at WCW Fall Brawl that happened at the end of September. The main event saw Ric Flair defeat Arn Anderson and Earl Robert Eaton to retain the World Heavyweight title. I hadn't realised Flair was back on top, or maybe I did and I had forgotten about it, who knows. But yes, this is my thing. You saw the ECW show, and the fact that they had like an 85 rated match, a 79 rated match, and still only came out to a 71 show rating, whilst WCW 72 rated match in the main event, Scott Hall versus Bam Bam Bigelow was a 69, and they've got a 74 overall show rating. It feels like they're being judged in different ways. They are being judged in different ways. That's part of the game. But still, this this roster though. I mean, you got Flair, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, all really great wrestlers, but great wrestlers from about 10 years before this. Scott Hall, Bam Bam Bigelow, good. Savage in 2001, Big Boss Man in 2001, Brad Armstrong and Hugh Morris, never particularly like extraordinary. I mean, not that they were bad wrestlers, but they're not like star talents. Rico Suave and Steve McMichael, and I don't know who Mac 2 are, D'Lo Brown and Mike Rotunda. It's just a really poor Bobby Knight and Mabel. That's Mo and Mabel, previously of the Men on a Mission, facing each other. They got Raven, Ricky Morton, and they've also got Ray Gonzalez, Max Payne, Road Dogg, and Paul Roma. I mean, this is a awful roster. It's just not got what you would think of in 2001. You got to remember what time we are as well, what period in time we are. You got to look at that and go, my goodness, they are in trouble. But hell, that's the way this game has gone. Finance. That's what we wanted to look at, and there's another profit of 5,493, and that is despite us not charging for tickets in that second event. Had we charged for tickets, I think our profit would be somewhere in the region of 7,500. So we are charging forward towards the target I said of sort of 17,000 profit per month. And if we get to 10,000 per month, I might be tempted just to go ahead with it anyway, and just throw caution to the wind and try and get us on TV and shield those costs that we would undoubtedly incur. CM Punk for success. If rumours are to be believed, RWR are preparing a massive push for CM Punk. What rumours are these? CM Punk's already got a massive push. He's the champion. He's the top guy in the company. These guys sometimes is very funny, but yeah, I mean, no doubt about it, he's doing really, really well at the moment for this company, and long may it continue, I suppose. So I guess we should just move on. We've got nothing to do particularly between now and Luck of the Draw, so we'll push on towards Luck of the Draw. We won't get it in obviously today, but thank you for watching today as well, by the way. If you've enjoyed the episode, please hit the like button, and if you've been enjoying following along but haven't yet done so, please hit the subscribe button too, because this series is set to run and run and run. It really is. I'm recording this now, I think approximately 2.5 months ahead of when it will come out, which should give you a great indication that this series is not going away. Even if I stop now for a month and then started recording again, you'd still be there'd still be loads of episodes to come after this one. My next goal, really, the next big push that I'm trying to make is towards episode 100 of the series, and then after that we will sort of determine what is our next goal, what our next milestone will be, because this is local to global, and I am still kind of half determined to get us all the way to global, although I freely accept that it would take us probably another 300 episodes to do that, possibly even more, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going, and I think as long as we're still growing, there's no reason why I won't continue to push ahead with the series. I've really mainly enjoyed the storylines. Let's check in with Ring of Honor's Undeniable, just to see how they're doing. So Mikey Whipwreck defeated Rocco Rock to retain the ROH Wrestling Spirit title. Scott Studd is the ROH World Champion, having defeated Dances with Dudley the Renegade and Tank Abbott. Just look at this a little bit. So Scotty Riggs, I think, is Scott Studd. Dances with Dudley the Renegade and Tank Abbott. So Scotty Riggs is currently the ROH World Champion. And then UWA also put on one of their big shows. Mr. Perfect defeated Conan to retain the UWA World Heavyweight title. He continues to do really well in an 81 rated match. Superboy defeated Silver King. Blitzkrieg defeated Aquarius. Kind of keeping a track of Blitzkrieg. 72 rated match. He's really good now. Like, he has really, really got better and better. Interesting to see no Michael Modest on this event. At least not there. He's losing in the opener in a 53 rated match. Now, Michael Modest is someone that, well, both of these guys have re-signed with UWA not long ago, which is one of the reasons why I couldn't get them at RWR 100. But you'd think of those two, Michael Modest is the one most likely to become available in the future, given the upward trajectory at the moment of Blitzkrieg. Anyway, that's enough waffling from me. Next time we'll be bringing you Luck of the Draw, which is always an interesting event and has had over the years some pretty big implications for the company and its storylines. But until then, thank you very much for watching.